What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dallas Sports. My name is Sammy HT. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Please like and comment any thoughts you have on the video today. And without further ado, let's get started. First topic of the day, the Dolphins. Dead cap money. A lot of it, to say the least. Tua Tagovailoa at the top of the list at $55 million for 2026. Next up, we got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jalen Ramsey, and just look at the amount of money we have to pay. $179 million in total. This is an insane amount, to say the least. And I for the life of me, if you would have told me that this was going to be our vision like 2 years ago, like in 2024, maybe even 2023, I would have called you crazy. I would have said this is an insane thing to do. But now we have kind of no choice but to trust the process with John Eric Sullivan, with Jeff Hafley. And cutting all these players, while it sucks, it's going to have to be for the betterment of the team. Now, with that being said, a quick note at some of these players. Tyreek Hill probably being the best player of the bunch. But on top of that, we traded away Jalen Waddle. We traded away Jalen Ramsey. I remember that. We traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick. We cut Bradley Chubb. Terron Armstead, I believe, retired. James Daniels got cut as well. And all these players got cut, released. I think the most disappointing, ironically enough, is this man right here, Cam Smith. Now, a lot of people might be saying, well, what about Cam Smith? Why is he so disappointing? If you remember, Cam Smith was our second round pick who was picked, and everybody thought to themselves, it's an interesting pick because of our cornerback room being so damn good, at the time at least. Cam Smith was supposed to come in and make an impact, not in his first year, but maybe second and third year. He ended up not making any kind of impact at all, and when he was on the field, he was almost unplayable. It was such a shame, and if I'm being completely honest, all these players are disappointing. I think Tua Tagovailoa is the most disappointing, but an underrated one, Cam Smith. If you guys remember, Cam Smith was supposed to be a guy that we really, really, really wanted to work out, but unfortunately for us, it did not, and with that being said, it is what it is. Now, with that being said, what does that mean necessarily? What does that mean necessarily for the future, right? We made all these cuts now. We made all these decisions. So what does that mean? Well, exactly what we mean is for the 2027 season. In 2027, I don't know if you guys can see that, but in 2027, there's a lot of money to work with. We're going to have the third most cap space for 2027. And then on top of that, as the tweet says, we have to do some re-signings potentially with H.N. Brooks, Brewer, and the true draft classes. However, it's still a good sign. It looks like in 2027, we will be able to pick up some significant free agents. Now, I'm going to make this very clear. I want to say this now so that people don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to be spending too much money in next year's offseason. I do think that the draft is going to be our way of adding in the offseason. But don't be surprised if we bring in some sneaky players like we have been this year with all the free agents we ended up signing. So, yes, the Miami Dolphins made some significant moves this offseason, cutting some players that were Dolphin staples for a majority of their careers in Jalen Waddle and Tua Tagovailoa. But alas, the era of Tua is over. The era of Waddle is over. It's all over. And you know what? It is what it is. What I wanted to do also in today's episode, I wanted to do a mock draft. Now, PFF has this mock draft simulator that I've been using recently, and I decided with you guys, we're going to go ahead and do a mock draft, right? We're going to do it, and we're going to see how we can make this team much better. Now, granted, this year probably not going to be a great year, okay? Talent-wise, we're probably at the bottom of the barrel, but the draft, if picked profoundly, if picked greatly, we could maybe like have some flashes, maybe some good wins to build upon for the next couple of years. We're going to go all 7. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. We're going to go all 7 years. Shrink this real quick. We're going to go all 7 years. We're going to go all 7 years, right? The Dolphins are going to start with the 11th overall pick. I'm excited for that. We're going to enter the draft, and let's get it started. So, I'm not going to be doing any trades, by the way. No trades at all happening. We're not gonna make it overthink anything. I do think the Dolphins are gonna stay conservative and stay within what is going on. Now, obviously, we have 2 first-round picks, so that's gonna be interesting. Our first potential player that we could be building upon. This is already a very tough decision. We are both very, very needy at wide receiver and at corner. It is really, really bad. But knowing Jeff Hafley and knowing how he operates, I do genuinely think that he's going to start with defense in this draft. I think he's going to build the defense first. And with that being said, I do think Mansour Delane to me is a better prospect than Carnell Tate. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Mansour Delane with the first pick that we have. Now, that 30th overall, let's see who is available. Obviously, not a lot much better, as you can see. Now, I'm thinking to myself, thinking of the Dolphins depth chart at the moment, right? We have an interesting depth chart, to say the least. At tackle, I think Patrick Paul is the guy for us. I don't think that's really a question. He is going to be the guy at offensive tackle, especially on our left side. But what about our right side? What is that going to look like, right? And at the moment, our starting right tackle is Austin Jackson. We recently signed him to an extension. If I'm being blunt, I am not the biggest fan of Austin Jackson. I am not at all, actually. And while, yes, I see there are some players here that we could get, I don't know if I want to reach for Emmanuel Pregnon. I don't know about that. Well, now that I think about it, now that I really think about it, I mean, I don't think Emmanuel Pregnon is going to be available at our guard spot. And Emmanuel Pregnon is hands down going to be the second best guard in this class. We need some help next to Jonas Savaiinaea, and since he's not the best player, I don't know how to feel about him. Honestly, I'm thinking about it now, and it's probably, now I'm thinking, what about edge rusher? Because edge rusher, we don't have a lot there either. I mean, who do we have? We have Josh Uche. We have Josh Uche. We have Chop Robinson, David Ojabo, Robert Beal Jr. I think a pass rusher might be more needy than we actually think we care to admit. I think that's what I'm going to go with here. I think I'm going to go with TJ Parker at the edge. I think we need somebody to build next to Chop Robinson. I think we'll worry about guard. Would you look at that? Emmanuel Pregnon is available, and this, in my opinion, is a no-brainer here. This is a no-brainer. This is going to be our first offensive pick in the draft. Emmanuel Pregnon will be our starting right guard with absolute certainty. I'm actually really excited that we got him. I think we're looking pretty good, man. I think we are looking pretty good. Now, with this pick, I'm going to go with our next offensive player, Zachariah Branch. One thing about Zachariah Branch, in my opinion, not the tallest. He's 5'10", 180, right? 21. He is only 22 years old. He's not the biggest receiver. I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at a guy like Deion Burks, who's also not very huge. Most of these wide receivers that I'm looking at are just not that tall. So I think we're going to hold out on wide receiver again. We're going to hold out on wide receiver for now. I'm really thinking about it now. As I'm sitting here thinking about it, Zachariah Branch is hands down going to be the best wide receiver we select here. We just traded away Jalen Waddle. I'm going to go with Zachariah Branch here. I'm going to go with Zachariah Branch at the 75th overall pick. I think this is drafted looking very, very good so far. At the 87th overall pick, this is another interesting one. Now, a lot of people, I'm looking right now, and I'm seeing Sam Roosh. This is, by the way, the pick that got us Jalen Phillips. So this is a pretty significant pick if you ask me. I'm looking at Sam Roosh. He's all right. But I'm also thinking of our cornerback room. And our cornerback room is so bad, man. It is actually so awful. And looking at our cornerback room, as a matter of fact, I think I might as well show you guys who our corners actually are. Hold on, let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys. I don't think you guys understand how bad this this Miami Dolphins cornerback room actually is. So, give me 1 second here. I'm telling you, man, this offense. I'm telling you, man, this is going to be a very rough year in terms of like our roster, bro. It's going to be a very rough year. All right, as soon as I get rid of this pop-up ad, let's go ahead and get rid of that. This is our cornerback room. Um Storm Duck, Jason Marshall, and Darrell Baker Jr. are our corners. This is about as bad as it can get in terms of cornerback. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go back. This is actually ugly to watch. This is actually the ugliest thing I've ever seen. With that in mind, would anybody blame me if I doubled up on the cornerback room? I don't think anybody really will. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and double up on corner. I'm going to select Chandler Rivers as our second defensive back. And we have another pick not that far off. This is the benefit of having 3 first round. This is I believe the some of these picks, this pick is from Houston, and our 4th pick, I don't know if you guys see, but that 4th pick over here is from Denver from the Jalen Waddle trade. So we already doubled up on corner. I don't think I'm going to spend on another guard here. I don't want to spend on I also don't want to really spend on a receiver actually. I also think that actually I'm looking at Malachi Fields right now. Malachi Fields is looking very intriguing, and I don't know if we can get Malachi Fields, I wouldn't be mad either. Let's focus on the task at hand here. We don't want to reach at all. But man, we do need more edge help. But how much edge help do we really need, you know? This is a tough spot to be in. If we could just go ahead and look at our picks right now. We've doubled up on corner. We've gotten an edge rusher, a guard, a wide receiver. And we still have a bunch of picks. We have 4 third-round picks. This is actually crazy. 4 third-round picks is nuts. 4 third-round picks is nuts. There is a very strong chance I double up at wide receiver here. There's a very strong chance, and I might double up at edge rusher as well. The only thing is, LT Overton, in my opinion, he's all right. He wasn't that productive this year, unfortunately. 5 sacks, though, and 17 hurries isn't bad. It's definitely his best year, statistically, from a raw statistic stat wise. Oh, my goodness. This is such a hard decision to make. I'm looking at our depth chart right now, and there's just so many holes, that I think need to be addressed. And that includes like everybody from the secondary. I'm thinking about it. I think we're gonna extend Aaron Brewer eventually, so I don't think we need a center by any means. But I mean, when I think about it, like we could move on from Aaron Brewer for being cheap. If we're being cheap, we could move on from Aaron Brewer. And then looking at Aaron Brewer, I mean, he's 28 years old. So he's in his prime of his career. I just don't know if we should be like bringing in his successor so quickly. I really don't. And good centers aren't just available. There's a lot of players that I'm thinking right now that we select. Zakee Wheatley is still available. I'm just looking at it right now. Zakee Wheatley, I really like. I really like Zakee Wheatley. Um, God, this is such a difficult decision for me to make. I'm gonna double up on edge rusher here. I'm gonna double up on edge rusher. Our edge rushers right now, outside of Trop Robinson and the player that we just selected in TJ Parker, it's gonna be Josh Uche, David Ojabo, and Robert Beal Jr. We also have Cameron Good and Derek McClendon as well, just chilling off the bench. I think we need somebody. I think we need somebody good between LT Overton and K'Ron Crawford. Who am I going to select? We can just look. I think that K'Ron Crawford overall had a better year. He had a way better year than LT Overton, and I think LT Overton as a runner, kind of as a run blocker, as a run defender, kind of pales in comparison. It kind of pales in comparison to say a K'Ron Crawford. I'm gonna go with K'Ron Crawford here. I'm gonna go double up on edge rusher, and then I'm gonna go ahead. I like Zakee Wheatley. I like Genesis Smith as well. God, this is so brutal. This is such a hard decision to make, man. Between Genesis Smith and Zakee Wheatley here, I'm liking Zakee Wheatley a lot, man. I think as a run defender, he's better, and as a coverage guy, you're not getting that much better. I'm gonna go ahead and take the risk. I'm gonna take Zakee Wheatley over Genesis Smith. I like Zakee Wheatley a lot better. All right, we don't have a pick for the next. All right, we don't have a pick for like the next, like 40. So I'm curious to see who's gonna be available. All right, here's who's available. We have Seth McGowan out of Kentucky. This is another. This is a 4th round pick from Denver, so another pretty significant pick. I'm looking right now, and I'm seeing Jacoby Lane, and Jacoby Lane, I am a big fan of. I think I'm gonna go with him here. I think we do need wide receiver. We have doubled up on edge rusher. We are doubling up on edge rusher, corner, and we are going to double up on wide receiver. I am going to be selecting Jacoby Lane here. I guarantee you there's going to be so many people who are just going to be upset with this like video that I'm making just cuz this guy right here is so good. Chill out, okay? This is who's available right now. All these players that we could be getting out right now might not even be available. Now, as for the 151st pick, this is going to be round 5. This is our own pick for the first time in a bit. Emmett Johnson is still available, and that's crazy. I think that I'm going to go with him, considering after Devon Achane, we have Jalen Wright and Ollie Gordon. Oh, so I don't know if I should even get Emmett Johnson, considering that we already have 3 running backs that are very capable. I'm thinking about it right now, and I think Marlon Klein, the tight end from Michigan, I think we would benefit more bringing him in than we would bringing in another running back. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Marlon Klein at tight end. I'm interested. I think at the very least he brings us some good run blocking. We don't have a pick for like a very long time. I think our next pick is actually in the 7th round, ironically enough, which makes sense. Makes a lot of sense since we have so many 3rd round picks. It's actually crazy. We're finally here. Thank goodness. All right, who else is there that is available? We have Robert Spears Jennings. If we want to double up on safety, we can. Parker Brailsford, the center. Domani Jackson, Riley Nowakowski, and Colby Young. Now, I want to make this very clear. I think most of these guys are just going to be depth pieces. I want to go ahead and draft more. I want to keep on building the trenches. Now, granted, in this draft, we've only drafted 1 guard and haven't drafted another tackle. I think that might change. I think a lot of people would disagree with me there. I just think the defense is so bad. Like, have you guys seen the defense and the secondary that's going on? We have no pass rush. We have no secondary. Like, we needed that place needed life support, brother. It needed heavy life support. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and pick. I think I'm gonna go with the trenches on the defensive line here. I think we already have. I think we're gonna develop Dante Trader Jr. We're gonna try to develop him. Again, I don't see us picking a center. I think we're gonna pick Nick Barrett here at defensive line, and then our last pick of the draft is gonna be right here. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I think it would be. I think we're gonna go ahead and draft possibly a third wide receiver here, which is insane to me. I think Colby Young is available. I'm gonna go ahead. He didn't play much. He didn't play much this year, but I'm gonna go ahead and draft him. We're gonna triple up on wide receiver. We have 3 wide receivers coming in. If nobody hits, then that is our fault. Okay, it is. All right, the draft is they're about to grade my draft, which every time they grade my draft, I'm always like skeptical, like, oh, really? Are you sure about that? Or are you positive? And oh, we have so many draft picks to fill up this roster with. 4 third-round picks, 2 first-round picks, a second-round picks. Here is how they graded my team. I got an A+ for the Monsoor Delane pick, a B+ for the TJ Parker pick. If I'm being completely honest, the K'Ron Crawford pick, getting a C+ to me. Bit ridiculous. We need all the edge help we can get. I like this draft, man. I like this draft. I think we cover up. I think we get all our positions of need: cornerback, wide receiver, guard. At guard we have Emmanuel Pregnon. He could be a game-changing guard next to Jonas Savaiinaea if he continues to develop. I think this is a good draft, man. I think this is a good draft, and I think that this draft could change the franchise. If they did this exact draft, it would change the franchise, hands down. It would 1000% change it. But let's move on to our next topic, shall we? Which is it's always a pleasure talking about the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat currently came off a win yesterday against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We won by 17 points. Shout out to us. Now, I wanna make things very clear. I'm still mad at the Miami Heat because we lost 5 straight. We lost 5 straight prior to that win against Cleveland. In that win against Cleveland, Miami had great performances from Tyler Hero, 18 points on 54% shooting. Norman Powell had 19 on good shooting. Jaime Jaquez had 14. Wiggins had 12. Mitchell had 11. Larson had 14. We had, if my math serves me correct, we had 8 players in double figures. So only 1 player did not score over 10 points, and that was Kasparas Giacoussionis, who only had played 14 minutes. So everybody on this team was playing a huge part. I'm looking at Bam Adebayo and how he played. He had 17 points. 17 points and 10 rebounds and 7 assists and 2 steals. He shot stinky numbers, 31% from the field. 1 of 9 from 3. My goodness, that's terrible. Kel'el Ware with another double-double, 13 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. He was a plus 32. Oh, my God. Kel'el Ware is a plus 32 in 20 minutes, by the way. So he came off the bench, played 20 minutes, and had 13 and 11 off the bench. So Kel'el Ware continues to be very, very confusing when it comes to like his consistency and how he plays. There are times where I look at him and I think to myself, oh, well, that makes sense. And then there are times where I look at him and say, why is he not playing more? It's really so much inconsistency when it comes to him, and really when it comes to this entire team that's so unbelievably frustrating. And honestly, I'm kind of over it at this point. I'm kind of over talking about Kel'el Ware. I think at this point it's just about, if we don't trade him, next year is going to be make or break. It's year 3. You better have your motor up. You better be putting up the similar numbers than you did in December. Like, it's you got to play very, very well, man. You have to. Now, I want to say this. I want to make this very clear. It's like when we went on this 7-game win streak, I was like, oh my goodness, here we go. We have a tough stretch, though. We have a tough stretch, and if we could win some of these games, we could stay in contention to get into that 6th seed. And not only do we fall flat on our face, but we lose 5 straight games. And while I like this win against Cleveland, There is something so frustrating about watching us fall from being a 6th seed all the way to the 10th seed at one point to now back to being in the 8th seed. Again, the goal for this team is to get out of the play-in. I want to make that very clear. It's to get out of the play-in. It's to be the absolute best team we could possibly be overall in the series. I don't know why I'm saying that. Okay, I'm going to cut that out. 25 minutes, cut that out. The goal this year is to be a 6th seed, right? At the very least. That's the goal here. So when we go on these stretches where we're like 5-game losing streaks after going on 7-game losing streaks, and now all of a sudden teams like Philly can gain some ground on us because of the fact that they play teams like Sacramento and Utah and Chicago, they benefit now because we could not compete with some of these good teams. And against Orlando, I think that was the peak of my frustration because against Orlando, we were outmatched the entire game. And I don't know if you've been a Heat fan for a very long time, you should know that when we play the Orlando Magic, the expectation is to beat them every single time. Now, we might lose some games, but we are typically the big brother in the rivalry. This year, we have been the little brother, and it could not have been more obvious than this past game against them, right? My hate for the Orlando Magic is growing every single day, and I don't really care about the Orlando Magic like that, okay? They're an irrelevant franchise. Woo, woo. They are an irrelevant franchise in comparison to the Miami Heat. Now, granted, they've had more success than the Miami Heat recently because of the fact that, they have players to build around like Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. If those two are healthy, the team is good. The team could be very good, but unfortunately they haven't been, and we've benefited from that. Really, we've benefited from that, and we've stayed with them for the most part. I'm tired of being their little brother. I'm tired and sick and tired of being their little brother, bro. It's not right for Miami to be a little brother to Orlando. Give me a break, man. So, yeah, the next couple of games for the Miami Heat, again, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. We play Cleveland again on the road. The last 3 games of the month are going to be against Cleveland, Indiana, and Philly. Cleveland, again, is a little bit worrisome because... And the reason why that is because I don't know if Cleveland's going to drop back-to-back games against us. I just don't see it happening. But if we can, but there's no better time to get that done than right now. Okay, and we need this team fully healthy. It was fully healthy last time. We dropped 120 points, so that's encouraging. We should have a easy game against Indiana. That should be business as usual. If we win the next 3 games, all of a sudden we're 42-34 with 6 games remaining, going up against the Celtics, the Wizards, the Raptors twice, the Wizards again, and the Hawks. To be blunt with you, we need to finish these last 3 games on a winning streak. We need to beat Cleveland. We need to beat Indiana. We need to beat Philly at home because I can't guarantee that we're going to beat Boston at home. We are going to beat the Wizards, but the Raptors on the road. We haven't beat the Raptors this year. The Raptors, those 2 games are the most important games of the entire year. We need to at least take one from them. We need to take both, actually, because if they win one, they win the regular season series. So we can't have that. We need to take care of business against Washington. Those 2 games need to be easy games. They cannot be difficult for us. And against Atlanta, that might be the most important game of the entire season, Atlanta versus Miami. I mean, I think the last couple times we've beaten them twice, so this is going to determine the season series. And with how close things are, look, there's no more important time to win that game at home. That's basically a playoff game. That last game of the series is basically a playoff game against Atlanta. I think if we were to take a silent reflection on the season and to look at everything that has gone on this season, if we can make it out of the play-in, it will be a success. It will. We already have a better record than last year, okay? So we're clearly a much better team than last year. But if we're still a playing team, even though we are a better team than last year, there is no progress. There's been no progress, and it's the same thing over and over. If we make the play-in, it'll almost be like we might as well lose the 2 games. If we make the play-in, I want us to be a 9th or 10th seed, and I want us to lose. I'll be blunt. I want us to lose. Because the play-in is exactly what... If we're not going for a straight playoff series against either the Knicks or possibly the Cavaliers, if we're not going for that, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? A third seed, being the 3rd seed or the 5th seed, gets us against either Cleveland or New York. I like our matchup against both of those teams. I do. And even though both of them have the star power edge, I do think we have the coaching edge. And I think that would be a competitive series. So those two would be a competitive series. But straight up, we have to play better. But straight up, we have to lock in these next couple of games. We do. We need to win against Cleveland tomorrow night. We need to win that first game against Boston. We need to win those games against Philly, the game against the easy games against the Pacers and the Wizards. These are must-win games. Like, if we're trying to make it out of the play-in, these games right here, we have to win. We have to win. It's simple as that. And if you're sick and tired, if Bam is sick and tired of being in the play-in, fine. It needs to be shown here. It needs to be shown right here. So, final stretch, man. This is it. Like, this is it. This is our final stretch. If we can't get it done here, then I just don't know what else to tell you. If we can't get it done at the end of the year, then we might as well just, if we make it to the play-in, I want it to be as an 8th seed. I want it to be as an 8th seed. And I want to be a lottery team. I'll be honest. I want to be a lottery team. Because what the heck is the point if we make the play-in? What the heck is the point? I'll give you an answer. There is none. There just isn't. On to bigger and brighter news and sad/encouraging news. The Miami Hurricanes basketball team did end up losing to Purdue in the round of 32 against. Purdue's a great team. Let's give them credit where credit is due. Purdue is a great team, and it's no surprise they finished ranked 8th. They were the 2nd seed in the region. It's no surprise that they ended up becoming. They ended up beating us by a significant amount. Now, with that being said, I will say that there is nothing for the Miami Hurricanes to be ashamed of. Like, absolutely nothing. We, at the end of the day, improved greatly. And I mean greatly from whatever was going on last year. Last year, it was a nightmare, okay? 7 wins, last in the ACC. I feel like I'm a broken record saying that. But Jay Lucas came in. He brought in Trey Donaldson. He brought in Malik Reneau. He brought in guys like True Washington and Ernest Udeh Jr. And those guys ended up producing one of the better seasons that we've had in the last couple of years, okay? And Malik Reneau he's definitely gone. He's a senior. Trey Donaldson, he's gone. He's also a senior. Ernest Udeh Jr. is gone. He's a senior. True Washington, at the end of the day, I think he's going to be the next man up to lead this team. He's a junior. I don't think he's going to go to the league. Him, Shelton Henderson, and Dante Allen, those guys right here, those guys are going to be the players that we develop moving forward. Then we got Timotej Malovic, who's going to be, hopefully he's going to take a significant leap. These guys are going to be the future. The 3 I just mentioned, Henderson, Udeh Jr., Henderson, True Washington, and Dante Allen. True Washington for at least one more year. Shelton Henderson and Dante Allen. Shelton Henderson, by the way, what a performance in that Elite 8 game. What a performance against Purdue. He had 18 points, 8 rebounds on 9 of 11 shooting. Shelton Henderson needs to improve his 3-point shooting and his shooting as a whole. But he'd be going to the league if he had a 3-point shot. He would. But alas, he didn't. He had a good tournament, though. 15 points in the first round, He had 18 points in the next game against Purdue. So Shelton Henderson is the future, no doubt about it. I want to continue to reiterate, Jay Lucas has been phenomenal. He has done such a great job for us. Like 25 wins after winning 7, being third in the ACC. It's a shame we didn't make it too far in the ACC tournament. But hey, what you can say is that the future's bright for Jay Lucas. It's his first year. He led the team to the tournament, got a tournament win. I can't say the last couple of years for Canes basketball, it's been ugly. It was very ugly. Coach L did the best he could, but I mean, times flew. And look, it's good to see that Hurricanes basketball can become good. It can become a good program. And him, Jay Lucas, what he's doing, and then Mario Cristobal, what he's doing in the football side of things. The U is looking up in terms of their sports program. The program is now going to turn to baseball. I'll be honest, I'm not keeping up too much with the baseball team as of right now. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited, though. Shout out to Jay Lucas. He has been awesome. Now, another thing that's starting up very soon, the Miami Marlins. Yes, we're going to talk about the Miami Marlins. I know that's crazy for us to think. The Miami Marlins begin their season tomorrow night against the Colorado Rockies. Sandy Alcantara is the confirmed starter to be doing confirmed to be the opening day starter for the Miami Marlins. So that to me is very, very encouraging. The Marlins are going to be, with that being said, without Kyle Stowers, he's going to be on the IL. Without Ronnie Enriquez, again, also on the IL. We're going to be without Esteury Ruiz as well, the left fielder. Our outfield right now is pretty... It's pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. Not bad. It's just very, very... it's very banged up, let me tell you. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that that Kyle Stowers got hurt because he's looking for an extension. He wants to stay in Miami. It's such a shame that he got hurt right when things got bad. Right when things were looking good. Austin Slater has been brought in, the outfielder from the Yankees, on a minor league deal to kind of round things out for the outfield. I'm wondering who's going to be our starting. I'm wondering what our opening day lineup is going to be. We're going to find that out Friday night. But what I'm projecting it's going to be. What I'm projecting the starting lineup is going to be, it's probably going to be with Xavier Edwards 1,000%. He's probably 1,000% going to be starting for us at the leadoff. I expect it. He's probably going to be leading off for sure. I would assume that since Kyle Stowers is not going to be batting, I think Griffin Conine is likely going to be the guy at the second hole. And then we're going to have Agustin Ramirez at the third hole. So that's going to be our first three. At cleanup, I'm thinking maybe Otto Lopez. Or maybe at cleanup, I'm thinking maybe Jacob Marcy. I thought he looked pretty good to end the year. So I think Jacob Marcy. At the fifth spot, I'm thinking Otto Lopez. At the left field, I'm thinking Heriberto Hernandez gets to start at I'm thinking he gets to start at left field since Kyle Stowers is out, and we're gonna have Griffin Conine play right field, Heriberto play left field, or maybe Griffin Conine play left field and Heriberto play right field with Jacob Marcy starting out at center field. At third base, I mean, there's a lot going. At third base, man, I am assuming that they're gonna put in Connor Norby. He's gonna be back, so he's really good defensively, especially. So Connor Norby should be the guy at third base. At second base, Otto Lopez. I already mentioned him. At first base, that's a problem. We've been rumored to starting Christopher Morel. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of Christopher Morel at first base, but we don't have much to really do. I hope that we're buyers at the deadline to get our first baseman. But but yeah. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna be the lineup. I don't know who our DH is gonna be, if I'm being honest, if I'm being blunt. Um we'll go ahead and find out the entire lineup this on next Friday. So it should be interesting. Miami Marlins opening day, I'm expecting improvement. Last year we had some improvement. We won 79 games. I hope we get to 85 wins. Hopefully past that 80 win mark. We can't regress this year. We just can't. We just can't be regressing this year. Oh, I forgot to mention, Owen Casey's probably going to be starting for Heriberto Hernandez. So it's probably going to be Griffin Conine, Jacob Marcy, and Owen Casey, which kind of leaves out who's going to be the odd man out here, who's going to be DHing. We'll probably figure that out relatively soon. So yeah, Marlins opening day should be starting off very, very soon. It's going to be on Friday night against the Colorado Rockies. I'm expecting a big game. I'm expecting a big game. Now, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. On the road, we're like one subscriber away from 100. I haven't checked yet. Maybe we've hit it. Thank you guys so much if we have hit that goal. But if we haven't, I would very much appreciate it. I'm on the grind to hit 200 subs very, very soon. Shorts are going to be coming out daily. Episodes of the Dallas Sports Pod are going to be coming out weekly, twice a week, once a week, depending on the week. And then on top of that, you're going to be getting videos a lot more frequently. Expect a video tomorrow expect a video tomorrow talking about the Miami Dolphins very soon and what we could be looking at in terms of the mock draft. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Dale.